Welcome to the Sold Too Early Sports Card Podcast, actively applying to be a junior purchasing specialist at your favorite repack company. That's Kai. I'm still lying on my resume. That's a pretty good intro, I gotta say. For the fact that that was one riff, had to change my other one last minute due to some funny circumstances. Kai, how the hell you doing, man?
I'm doing good. It's like normally we always say, "Oh, there's not a lot going on right now in cards," but like there's some like funny stuff going on right now.
There is a lot of funny stuff going on right now. Dallas was a success, as it generally seems to be. It's always like a B plus, A minus type show. Did a lot of selling, a lot of trading. I did some buying too. Not a ton made at home actually in terms of the stuff I bought. Either it was sent off for grading or it was sent off to get prepped and ready for PSA. Not a ton came home. My collection is going to shift a lot over the next 45 days, 60 days, whatever, in between my wedding and my honeymoon. So like gonna be kind of out on like the major cards for quite a bit, which is fun. But Dallas was also a very interesting time for gossip. A lot of gossip happened over a very short period of time. And frankly, I've not been told I can or cannot say anything. I'm not affiliated with any company or business. I don't give a shit. I'm an open book here. Got some good information on Fanatics and some other repack companies and businesses that we're gonna dive into today. But first, Kai, anything going on with you? Anything do you want to touch on top of the podcast before I jump into all the craziness?
No, not really. I think I missed last week's the one I missed? Or the one
Yeah,
before?
so you had the hurricane or tornado in Florida. So
Yeah,
hopefully you're obviously back in your apartment. Obviously everything's okay,
we
but
have a
like
roof. So
yeah, I mean, real talk, it's obviously much more important than memes and sports cards, but thankfully you're good. Want to quickly touch on the backyard break situation for anyone who is not aware of what happened. Basically, there's two parties involved here, and this is all speculation, nothing confirmed.
alleged.
Don't sue me. I don't fucking care. Whatever happened was an affiliate or partner of Backyard Breaks or a buyer for them was accused of stealing cards and cash from Backyard Breaks, the company. He no longer works there. And he also tried to take down another dealer, card shop, business. He accused them of trimming cards, shill bidding, reselling products, tracing autographs, and using fake Panini authenticity stickers. Like, you know how like they
That was
like
crazy. I never thought of someone doing that, honestly.
it's really and this is a bad way of saying this. It's really smart in the worst possible way because
Interesting.
like you know those stickers mean so much to people who do buy and sell. Like if it's sealed by Panini, you expect it to be legit. You're not really like your guard's kind of down.
Or a cleaner card if you're grading it, that sort of thing.
So there was a lot of things being accused. I don't know what I believe. Honestly, it would not shock me if some of the stuff was true. It wouldn't shock me if this was someone trying to take another person down with them. It really, I don't know. It's kind of tough to say what is true or not true. Um, I don't know. This is just something to monitor. I don't think anything's going to come of it. There was a rumor going around that the person at Backyard Breaks had been arrested for embezzling. I don't know if that's true or not. Once again, I don't claim it to be true. I don't claim to know anything beyond what was posted on Facebook, which was quickly deleted. I'll put the screenshots on top because it's worth. It's a long read, so pause the video if you want to read it. It's pretty crazy. There's like a text exchange as well. Very short, but kind of a weird vibe that was kind of going through Dallas as I was leaving on Saturday.
Does that dealer go to Dallas and set up, or I've seen like pictures of him before, but I don't really know him.
I don't know him. I'm not trying to accuse or say anything. He does look familiar.
Very
But
familiar. That's why I asked that.
they are in Florida, I believe. So it would not shock me if you saw them either around your local card shops or in general. Definitely has like I don't know. I kind of it's not the right way of saying it. A recognizable face, tattoos, whatever else. No, listen, I'm not accusing them of anything. I'm not saying who they are. It doesn't matter. I don't know. I don't think I deal in the same card world as them, so I don't think our paths would cross unless like I happen to have like a high-end card and he'd ever DM me. I actually checked beforehand. We'd never talked to each other. I actually follow them. I don't know. I don't really know what to believe here. I would not be shocked if there's some truth to both accusations. I would be shocked if there was nothing there. I think that I think there is something to the fact of like the higher and higher you get within sports cards or business in general, the more people you tend to piss off one way or shape or form, and then how they will try to.
Well, especially if you're good at whatever you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a truth across any business. That's very not exclusive to sports cards at all. I mean, there are definitely those who will try to get an edge in any way, shape, or form. Will they trim cards or show bid or trace autos? No, but they might do other unethical business practices and obviously may or may not get caught. I don't know. This is kind of a situation to monitor. That's how I would describe this. If you're not familiar with it all, I posted it on screen already. You can read it. I don't really know if anything else has come out of this in the last 48 hours or so, but it'll be something to just keep an eye on, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like 95% of the time stuff like this just gets blown over by like the next week, but this could fall in that like 5% because he was actually doing some like really shady stuff. It wasn't just like trimming cards or like doing that. It was like kind of shady things.
No, that's the crazy thing too. And I mean, going back to the backyard break situation.
I guess allegedly, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make Backyard Breaks the company look bad because they didn't do anything wrong. It's more of like hiring scummy people that did scummy things, which is not a good look. In the grand scheme of things, nothing's going to change. People are still going to be buying into repacks. People are still going to be affiliating themselves with both companies and businesses. And that's perfectly fine. Go for it if you have those positive reactions. But hey, something to keep an eye on if you associate with either business. Just something to be aware of. Speaking of repacks and businesses like that, dude, Thursday in Dallas is probably the best day of the show other than like Saturday, because people who have businesses and repacks who want to buy quantity know that Thursday is the best move for them. If you're setting up, like, you got to be there on Thursdays now.
Yeah, I mean, that's just like how it is though, right? Like now.
It's gotten so much worse. Better, worse, I'm not sure how you would describe it. If you're an average person attending the Dallas Card Show, I'm sorry. I think that's the only way to describe it properly. What was interesting this time going around was I had sold my table. So for anyone who has ever been to the Dallas Card Show or ever seen me at the Dallas Card Show, my location, 95% of the time, when you walk in the main room, go to the right, it's like the fourth or fifth table down on the front row. I sold my table this show. I sold it for $12.50. Said, all right, cool, you guys can have it. No big deal. I set up with Lucas, Sports Card Mania. Mikey's Cards, could not get in. His flight was canceled. He ended up staying home. Perfectly, acceptable. It sucked. He wasn't there.
Right? A lot of flights were canceled.
A lot of people who flew out Thursday were either canceled, diverted to Houston or OKC, or spent like 12 hours probably in the airport or on the plane, deplaned, whatever else. Awful. Really feel bad for them. I made some fun at their expense. I said the people who got caught in the storm were in hashtag grinding or hashtag didn't want it enough, which is super funny. Total dickhead move by me, but made me laugh. Got a couple of responses, mostly funny. Some were upset, but it was a joke. Joke, bro, chill. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's okay. Obviously felt bad for those who could not get in, who had to cancel the plans. I mean, Mikey's got a couple-month-old daughter. I mean, I'm sure he was happy to be home. He did a story sale. He was happy with that stuff, but missed him at the show. Would have been nice to have him there. Lucas and I were set up an MC spot. Super successful, right in the middle of the show floor room. What was funny, though, is the people who I sold my spot to, very nice gentlemen, by the way. I believe his name was Roman and Sasha. I believe their Instagram is Elite Coins and Cards. Kind of blanking on the exact name. They had a big ass banner. It was like buying 80 to 95% comps, whatever the numbers were. For everyone who's not aware of my spot in Dallas, you have right next to them Cards HQ, which is Jeff Wilson's company or shop, whatever, and then Deal Me Slabs, who is also like a big notable buyer. So you go to the right of the show floor room, it is like murderer's row, people who want to buy your cards. Yeah. that is such an interesting time. I'm not sure how effective banners are in that aspect. I mean, the only walk-ups that I had that I bought were just friends that I had.
Oh, really?
Because
The whole show?
yeah, I mean, I didn't really buy a ton. I wasn't really intending on buying. I bought Shovel's Kenny Pickett collection
I saw
for
that.
$300, and I sold it for like 410. I laughed my ass
How
off
many
because
cards were in that?
20 to 30 Kenny Pickett cards.
That's great. 'Cause
Autos,
they were like
arcade.
decent cards too. Like they weren't terrible, were they?
The best cards in there were probably Contenders Auto 9510 or PSA 10, whatever it was. An Immaculate RPA, 3-color BGS 9. It was okay stuff. There's some Kenny Pickett prisms in there, but yeah, his market's obviously zero. I bought it because it was funny. I sold it to a friend who thought it was funny too. Obviously, Mason Rudolph is the GOAT backup quarterback, and you should all buy him and spend all your money on Mason Rudolph. No, just kidding. Don't, because Lane and I bought a bunch of them, and we're currently laughing our asses off of that situation. I bought a Julio Rodriguez Bowman Chrome Blue Refractor. It was a BGS 7510. Got it all prepped and ready and sent it off to PSA. Like, listen, my perspective on card prepping has very much changed in the last 2 months or so. Whenever shout out Kurt's Card Care happened, whatever that was, at the PSA headquarters. If you can get away with that, and they don't seem to care and deactivate the cert, fuck it. It's all open game. I don't give a shit. Like, okay, PSA doesn't care. Hobby people in the comments or my DMs might be like, what's wrong with you? How dare you? PSA doesn't care. I don't care. That's the rules. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, if that's probably one of the top 10 biggest cards they've graded this year, I would guess around that range, maybe top 5, top 3. But yeah, if they don't care on something like that, and it's obviously stated that whoever worked on it or whatever, it's like, why should anyone else care?
Like, no, that's. Am I saying that's okay to prep your cards? No. Am I telling you that I no longer care if someone does? No, I don't care anymore.
Well, we also talked about it, like prep has a lot of ways you could go with describing that word, I guess.
Correct. Which is why you use the word prep. You don't use the word stamping corners or cleaning surfaces or whatever. Like, whatever the line is anymore is so vague, it does not matter anymore. And I fully come around to that opinion because if the authorities that be within the sports car world don't care, who the fuck am I to?
Can we talk about this real quick before we move on? It's been around for a while, but like the structure of like people that prep cards for you.
Yep.
Charging like different. Everyone knows what I'm talking about here, and I have nothing against these people. I'm very fine with them, but like fees based on getting 10s, based on working on a card. Like, what are your thoughts on like all that?
I literally gave some cards to one of those guys at the show. I'm going to tell you his Instagram name because he was, first off, a very nice fellow. It was High Grade Hits. His name is Wes. Super friendly guy. He was actually sitting at our booth at the very end of the show when I was leaving Saturday night. I don't know if like he and Lucas were making a deal, if he was just bullshitting with Lucas, whatever. Super friendly, very nice guy. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, start a conversation with him. Ended up knowing, oh yeah, you do prep for PSA, whatever. All right, cool. What's your rates? $10 per card plus if they PSA 10. All right, here's like 7 cards, dude. Do your work. Got his number. Seemed nice. I'm excited to work with him. Like, if you give off a positive vibe, you're like someone who is like actually like well spoken and like know what you're doing and like feel like you can actually get work done. Okay, I don't care. Like, I was thinking about this before too. Like, if a card gets a 10, the value increases tremendously. Whether that's okay or not, so be it. We're not even talking about Beckett at this point. We're talking about PSA because Beckett is now in 4th place realistically, which is a super sad statement, but it is what it is. The PSA 10 qualifier on a card exponentially increases the price. I really don't care what I have to pay to get that grade.
So I would say that probably caters more towards like $250 plus raw cards, though.
Yes.
Right. Like that's where it makes the most sense.
Yeah, I'm not telling you to submit your Mac Jones Prism 9s, which I conveniently have on my desk right here. I got this.
Why do you have that?
I did a local bulk deal with a friend. He just stopped by like an hour ago, and this was a throw-in because it is literally, Kai, a $2 Mac Jones Prism rookie card. It is so worthless.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you are gonna give your cards to someone that has like a proven track record and it's like good stuff that's worth, paying whatever, I think it totally makes sense. I guess the people that are trying to charge like 3 different layers of fees for like $50 cards that turn into like $125 cards. I don't know how I feel about that. I guess if I said this in our chat, but if you can get people to pay for it, like good for you. Like I can't hate on that. Like, but it just seems kind of weird / dumb to pay for that for bulk stuff.
You could make a pretty good career right now prepping cards and doing that same service level and doing that like guaranteed assurance. Like, oh, if you got a PSA 10, it's this cost. People pay for it.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's just a combination of people that are lazy, don't know how to clean cards, and don't care, I guess.
I know how to prep cards. My opinion is, if a PSA 9s, it's $500 in this instance. If a PSA 10s, it's $1,400. All right, it's $25. If this PSA 10s, okay, like, help yourself. Like, go for it, dude. Like, I either get the card in a 9, which I probably could do anyway, or there's a 10% chance he enhances it to the point, or preps it, or whatever you want to fucking.
That's a new one.
Who cares anymore? It doesn't matter. Like, we are a hobby of one grouped together with no actual laws and regulations. Who gives a shit? I'm done pretending. Like,
Dave altered cards.
Have you seen my PSA grades before? I clearly don't, because I'm bad at it.
He tries his best.
I'm actually actively making the cards worse, Kai. It was a PSA 10 beforehand. I got my hands on it. Boom. PSA 7. You're welcome.
Don't ask why he cracked out the 10.
I was going for the black.
He wanted to practice.
Yeah, cracking PSA 10s, turning them into BGS 4s. Follow me for financial advice. You're welcome. There is actually funny instances where PSA 1s and 2s of like common cards, people who want to do like the PSA report of it or whatever.
This. Yeah.
They've done better than like 7s, 8s, and
like Pokemon. I think like Charizard 1s and 2s do really well compared to like 4s, 5s, 3s, that kind of thing.
I actually have a Charizard on my desk. I don't know if I can find it.
I never knew about this. I was actually watching like a video the other day, I think. And
I have one right here. It's a PSA 2. No, you're not going to see it super well, but this was in the bulk deal. 1999 Charizard PSA 2.
Yeah.
140 right now. Not sure.
Yeah, I mean, a 3 or a 4 is probably the same or a couple more bucks, I would think.
So funny. Like, dude, our card market makes no sense.
Well, that actually does kind of make sense because I feel like that's the most obtainable grades, like 1s and 2s if you want to do a set, but it's dumb also at the same time. So
yeah. I don't know. We're in a weird spot, but once again, like, you could have
like you would like to say.
You could have a very good living if you prep cards and like have a decent business for it and like know what you're doing. So.
It's a good business model. You can't hate on them. I mean, if people are willing, especially the better stuff, like I don't think anyone's gonna say negatively, like, oh, if you could turn my $500 card into a gem, and I'll pay you $50 or whatever, all in.
I would do that for every single card, Kai, I owned, if that was as simple as it could be.
Yep.
Like, it's just worth it then. And I don't know whether I agree with it or not. It's here, and like,
yeah, dude, you might as well.
Mr. Minty sets up in Dallas. Striving for 10s in Dallas.
Dude.
Yeah, there's like multiple. They have booths. No one gives a shit. Why the fuck are Instagram DMs or like comments online? The hobby police. I don't care anymore. Like, it's just like, you lost. Like, it's happening. You can either like roll with it and accept it as a reality, or you can stand against it. That's it. You can stand against it.
Yeah.
You don't get anything out of it. Like, you don't get a good one.
Like making money at this point. Like, you gotta do what you gotta do.
It's not even you gotta do what you gotta do. It's just like standing against this does nothing for you. You financially hurt yourself potentially.
No one cares if you don't like it.
Yeah, no one cares if you don't like it. Okay. Like, that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. I was very similar to you in that way too for a long time. And then PSA said, we don't care. So I follow PSA's opinion. I don't care anymore.
Yep.
Yeah. Super sad. Speaking of people who care about my opinion, though, which is super fucking weird. Why would you care what I have to say? EJ, Dynasty Mode, Director of Dealer Relations at Fanatics, sought me out in Dallas. I guess I can say this. They didn't say I can't. If I can't, EJ, oops, you didn't tell me I can't. You know I have a podcast. You've been on it before. I saw the floor plan for Fanatics Fest. It's interesting. It's I'm trying to think about the best layout. I only saw it for I don't know, 15 seconds. It was like an offshoot to the right hand side of the Java Center. 350 tables ish as of right now. A booth which will be multiple tables. I can't confirm this. Can't confirm this information. Subject to change. Prices allegedly, whatever else. But I did see the floor plan. Subject to change. A booth, multiple tables, dealer passes, showcases, everything under the sun. About $3,000, which is expensive. Don't get me wrong, but if you're splitting that with 3 or 4 other dealers, $800 to $1,000 to set up, covers all your expenses. Let's say hypothetically, it's about the same as Dallas and Burbank. First time for a show was pretty aggressive, obviously, but like the counterpoint is you're in the Java Center in New York City. It's expensive. That is not unattainable and unrealistic to expect those type of numbers for table, showcases, badge, whatever else.
Is that center in like a populated area, or is it kind of like offshoot from like the city?
Java Center is pretty popular. I'm trying to think of like how people get there.
Would people walk into it, or is that not like a thing?
I think you could take public transit down there pretty quickly.
Because I didn't know if it was like a thing that was just like there and you walk by it and you're like, oh, I'm going to go in there.
It's pretty popular. I would be lying if I was an expert on the Java Center. I've only actually been there once. I was there for the New York Auto Show when I was working for BMW last year. And I walked from Port Authority, which is the bus terminal. It was about a 15-minute walk. With cards and stuff, and my fiance/wife at that time, would I walk it? No, I'd probably take an Uber or like the train or the subway or whatever I would call it. Actually, I'd have to look at the best way to get there from Port Authority. I would be lying if I knew it off the top of my head. I probably should, but it would still be one where I would most likely not take a bunch of public transit, especially with cards.
Well, I was thinking more of like, it feels like it would have one of the most like just natural like public attendances, like of people walking in that don't really know what it is.
I think there's a good chance that people would walk by and not know what it is, but then walk in anyway because they would see it be open and be pretty popular. I should know better. I don't like New York City. I just happen to have worked in there for quite a while. So it is what it is. What else? Oh, this was another interesting thing. And this is something that, once again, not getting paid for. I don't really care. I truthfully am just out there for, I guess I'm out there for the hobby's best interest. I don't know. I also just said that prepping cards is okay. So you don't know what to make of me. That's perfectly okay too. I was asked by EJ to meet with them some point during this week. I'm not sure that's still going to happen. We'll have to find out. They want to learn about some East Coast dealers. They want to see who they should have at that show. And they want to meet with me and a couple other people on the East Coast who know people and have a conversation, which I am excited to do, assuming that still happens. I mean, they have a very tight ship to run over the next 3 months. I'm shocked that they care about my opinion, but I think what it came down to, and this is what EJ had said, it's like, you are impartial. You gain nothing from this. You want the best for the industry. Let's talk. And it's true. I don't care. I don't care about my Instagram following or being a hobby legend and a GOAT. I actively shit on everything and everyone. So like, my best interest is making sure that we think critically. Who's going to actively wish for that and tell you that straight to your face and not be backed financially by a different company? Like, come on.
Yeah. Is this like I'm guessing it's to just kind of figure out how to get better East Coast dealers to actually want to go? Is that what it's about? Or
it sounds like more of like knowing who they should target and ask.
Because it's not invite only. Like, you can just ask for a table, right?
I don't know if it's invite only. From the conversation I had, it sounded like they had a big board, quote unquote, like people who they want there. I don't think they would turn anyone away, but just based on the cost of setting up, I imagine there's like, all right, there's 500 dealers who we know of who would be perfect for the show. And based on these costs, we think that we can get 400 of them to show up. How do we find these people? How do we connect with them? And is there someone we're missing?
Gotcha.
So, what else? This I will not share, but I do know where their third show is going to be, and I know when. So that'll be fun. That'll be announced in 3 months. That'll be a super fun time. I look forward to flying to this. So
East Coast or West Coast?
I will say it is not the East Coast.
So that means Central.
I'm not.
You would have said West Coast, so that means Central.
I'm not saying anything. I don't want to say anything about that. But there is a third show that they are working on. I will also note, and I didn't double check this. I probably should have before the episode. Orlando. Let me see when this is.
I believe Orlando's in November.
November 1st to 3rd. Okay. Dallas Card Show. Let me double check the dates there. October 31st, November 3rd. Hey, Kai. Guess what they're doing?
Not letting me go to Dallas.
Not letting you go to Dallas. So, Orlando Fanatics Fest will be November 1st to 3rd. Dallas Card Show, October 31st to November 3rd. Fanatics Fest, New York City. It is August 14th to 16th, whatever the dates are. East Coast National, same weekends. I did ask about that. Once is a coincidence, twice is not. I was told that was done before EJ was in the role. I will stand by my opinion of Fanatics is actually trying to, take over shows.
Yeah, I just don't see them taking over the Dallas time slot, regardless of how good it is.
They won't.
So I don't know if that's the best idea, but, go for it, I guess.
They're trying to figure out where they belong in this world. They've also tried to acquire shows. Kai.
Do we have a name of any of them?
Chantilly.
That's pretty solid, like B- tier, right? C+ tier. I've never been, so I don't know, but
I've never been either, but I do know from other sources that they were in conversations. It didn't work. I also have heard conversations about Dallas and how their showrunners have been approached, not to sell the show, but like more of like organizing the show calendar and how they're not willing to budge and how they're willing to.
That happening. They have no reason to. They're the most popular show outside of like the National / Burbank, I guess.
Which is why they set their show calendar dates and say, "Fuck you, people are gonna go to Dallas," and they're right.
I mean, it's like a habit, I guess. Not a habit, but like people that go to Dallas, like they're gonna go to Dallas. Like they're not gonna not go unless something crazy happens,
Yeah, I mean, I would need to see something crazy to go to Orlando over an established Dallas show where my name is
something for a dealer, right? Like you're going to Dallas. Like when are you gonna be able? You're not gonna not go and test the other one. Like that would just be a waste if it's not good. So I don't know how you figure out that it's worth your time.
Based on New York. Based on New York, I guess.
Yeah, but
it's hard to say. There was a lot of good gossip that I was able to get out of people, and frankly, like people know who I am. They knew I was coming here to talk. I don't know what you expect. I've not named sources really, but a lot of interesting things going on right now. I do stand by my opinion, and I will say this for quite a while, that Fanatics within 3 to 5 years will either acquire the National, like the show name and the rights or whatever else, or take it over without the masking and be swallowed up. So,
Yeah, there's no way it doesn't happen in some capacity. I mean, even like, could you imagine like the Dallas Card Show team like teaming up with Fanatics to outdo the National show or something like that? Not that it would happen, but like just in theory, like that would easily outdo the National.
Or the Dallas Card Show Cincinnati
The Dallas card show Northeast. They just combine every state and make a giant card show.
Welcome to the Burbank Card Show of Dallas, Ontario, California,
Of
home
Canada.
of the National.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't really. What else did I hear? The National people who obviously from the National, East Coast National, they feel loyalty to those who like a decade ago like became vendors and like because a decade ago they couldn't sell out the show and like obviously it's gotten sports cards
Is
around.
that true? I don't believe that.
According to what I heard, still doesn't change anything though in my mind because you're actively telling people not to sell tables and showcases to the people. You're telling them if they do, they will lose their booth. Kai, I can tell you on the sports card black market, quote unquote, a showcase in Nashville will be about $2,500.
Honestly, last year I think it was probably more than that easily. Which
Really?
is insane. Oh yeah.
I paid about.
Don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure that we had one showcase last year, and I'm pretty sure someone offered us like over $3,000 for it.
I paid $1,000 for 2 showcases last year.
Yeah, see, you're just the man.
Here's what it comes down to. Like I'm really not a piece of shit, which is really kind of a high bar. Kai, obviously you're a total asshole and I hate you, but like when you're willing to be like authentic with other people, they're willing to work with you a little bit more. And the spot in Chicago where I have been setting up and known those people for years through our mutual friend. And while they did lose space this show, and they will almost certainly not have anything for me anyway in Cleveland, in the event they do, I'm probably the first or second person they will call. Like, hey, something happened. Do you want to come and set up with us? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. There's no other. I can't describe it any other way of like just being authentic. Like this is me. And whether we were having a conversation in person at a card show or online, like this would be the conversation. I might say a little bit meaner and a little bit more like direct, but like there's not much that changes here when we do the podcast.
Well, at the National, like if you're going to be splitting a space with someone, like you don't want them to be annoying either. Like that's a long week. Like by Saturday, Sunday, if someone's annoying and you're splitting an area with them, they're leaving their trash everywhere, they're bothering you, like they're interrupting deals, like that's just annoying.
I know. I mean, we set up together 2 years ago, and that was a pretty fun time. We got very lucky with how it worked out.
You let me get a showcase the last couple of days, I think, right?
Yeah. So what happened there was this was at AC. Woods Basketball Card Paradise was able to get I don't know, half a table, whatever it be.
Like sick or something, right?
So his younger brother got sick, so he was going to set up with us. His brother got COVID. So he was like, hey, I don't need all this room. David, do you want to buy a second showcase? Or you want to just take it? Whatever. So I did. It was awesome. I think in exchange for like paying for it and everything like that, I brought showcases down too. So like I was not the bitch boy, but I was like sort of the bitch boy to like bring stuff because I had a car and they didn't. So, unfortunately, you have to pay your dues at National. No matter who the fuck you are, you just have to. So just accept that if you want to try and get in. And then I guess I just sold a bunch of stuff and I said, hey, Kai, you want the table? You want the showcase? And it was awesome. Like, it was just a fun time. And I mean, that's a year and a half ago. Like, that really does not feel like
it feels a lot longer.
That long ago at this point.
Doesn't it feel like years ago?
It does and it doesn't. I mean, a lot of stuff has happened in the sports car world since 2021. Oh, it was 2.5 years ago, actually, I should say. Not a year and a half ago. Oops.
Was it? Wait. Yeah, last year was Chicago. Yeah. Wait, I don't know. Are we doing this right?
Hang on. I'm Googling it.
Last year was 2023. It would have been 2022.
It was... Shit.
I think you were right. It was a year and a half.
42nd National. Well, you're not telling me when it was. Oh, 2022. So it was a year and a half ago.
Yeah, you were right the first time.
Okay. Yeah. There you go. Time is really starting to get away in a way. Yeah, because I remember now people were buying Zach Wilson and
that was Matt that. Gill. Yeah, that was that National.
That was a bad time for people.
That was an interesting time.
Trying to think. What else? Is there any other gossip I missed? I I kind of went through everything that I can share. There was one thing I said to you before the podcast. Can't get into that. Don't want to get in trouble there. Basically, what happened was an item went missing, and it was not recovered.
Very costly item.
very, very costly item. Did not happen at the show. Was a story I was told. Oh shit! What?
Would not be thrilled if that was my item.
I will text the person before next episode and see if I can share the story. If not, I'm gonna leave it super vague because I don't feel like getting in trouble with them. I talk to them somewhat frequently. All right, got some questions here that we can answer. Cardboard Journey wants us to discuss eBay shilling. How obviously zero feedback accounts can win $5,000 plus auctions. This is tough. I mean, you can't fix it. It's I don't know. I do like what eBay is doing with their or best offer items, where if you accept an offer and it's like from a legitimate person, once you make the offer to someone online, they have your credit card information and they will charge you if the person accepts your offer.
Hold on. You know what's weird about this is I thought the same thing, but I sold a card last night and that didn't happen. And the guy finally paid like an hour ago. He paid via PayPal, it said.
Did it say that when you accepted the offer, he would be charged?
Yeah, it was like the normal whatever, like it says.
Okay, so then maybe the system's not 100% there yet, or maybe there's
99% of the time it charges them, right? Like in a couple minutes or whatever. But
so yeah, I think that the eBay has gone a long way.
I like that a lot, like you said.
eBay, honestly, ever since COVID, honestly, eBay has changed their return policy, has fixed or best offer. Auctions are still kind of, it is what it is, the Wild West. I really am a big eBay supporter. Since 2022, 2021, I've been on eBay since 2015. I've sold over 15,000 items. I would say that my opinion matters in a way if you are not informed about it. eBay is a great way to sell a bunch of sports cards. And if you're not listing stuff on there, that's, it sucks. Speedy Card Lister will hopefully remedy that situation for a lot of people. But,
the one thing with eBay though, we've said it before, I'm pretty sure, but I just don't know why they don't add an option to not have your card go to authenticity if you don't want it to.
Yeah, I mean, you should be able to waive out of it in a way.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's some sort of liability there. Not really liability, but I don't know. It just seems like an easy fix to fix people's annoyances with waiting 2 or 3 weeks for a $200 card.
And then sometimes it gets lost or stolen, or there's
lost, or they don't let it get sent to you because it has something, they put the wrong card number on the listing or something stupid, or the wrong cert number.
You should be able to waive out of that. I don't know, maybe it's a feedback requirement, or maybe it's just you're not protected in case of a return or something happens. You should be able to choose to waive in and out of it. It will never happen, but it is what it is. Super stupid, but I think authenticity guarantee is here to stay for a while.
Yeah.
From the Card Professor, Dallas, recap how you have evolved, if at all, in this era of repackers. We kind of touched on Dallas recap a little bit at the start. I think in terms of evolving with this era of repackers, I think that there is something to staying in the lane of $250 to $750 or $100 to $500 cards, whatever price point you want to call it. Patch autos, on-card autos, kabooms, silver prism 10s, 9s, whatever. There is something to staying in that very liquid world. Obviously, people are not stupid, and we are kind of all aware that if you can buy a silver strap PSA 9 or a Kaboom Prism or a Kaboom 9 of someone, there'll be buyers for it, and they'll pay you 85 to 88% of comps. But it's so funny to me that Backyard was paying 90+%, even closer to 100% and stuff, and then they were obviously caught, or someone was caught doing questionable things. The market has shifted. If a table is no longer willing to offer you, or a table is only offering you 75% sold comps, they're a dinosaur now, which is super funny. Or they're trying to just get really over on you. At least in person. Like online, you can kind of get away with it sometimes based on what you're taking back or what you're buying or how much. But in person, at least at the show, if you're an informed consumer, you can turn down even 80% of comps. If you're someone walking around a show, you have to expect 85-ish%, which is better for everyone else in the industry, by the way. Like we all benefit, maybe not the dealers, so partially not me, but we all as a collective benefit when people are paying higher percentages for cards.
Yeah, I think also with repackers, there's 500 million of them, but you're able to take more shots on stuff because you have outs on it at a whatever small percent loss rather than being forced to auction it if you can't move it or whatever. And, I mean, as long as you're buying like normal stuff, not like crazy weird whatever niche cards, but whether that's grading them, taking shots, trying to win steals on eBay or whatever. But I don't know. I don't really think there's a negative, honestly, besides people that buy into the repacks. I don't really think they are that intelligent, but that's my opinion. I know a lot of people disagree with that. But
no, yeah. Kai, I don't think people disagree with that. I think it comes down to who you buy with.
Correct. Yeah.
The scummier repackers will always be scummier repackers, and they'll sell you a $500 box of cards, and they'll have just a $300 CJ Stroud 9, and then you check comps today, and sure, at one time it was $300, but now it's comping at $125.
Well, yeah, I'll always favor the like almanac type repacks over like a, oh my god, Kyler Murray kaboom 9. Oh my god,
Lane does a good job. This is I think one of the couple weeks in a row that I've talked positively about Lane and Leighton. Yeah, when you do good shit, you deserve to be praised for it. Lane and the crew of Lane is phenomenal, and Lane actively seeks to like buy good stuff because he actually is a collector and he knows what he's doing.
And people like actually are going to be happy with, like they might be the end user for the card if they like it enough,
I know. What's super funny is I had a perfect card. I was going to DM him. It was a Adam Thielen Immaculate NFL Shield auto. Like, I don't know what the card.
I don't even know if he had Shield autos.
So it wasn't like, it was like a window above the NFL Shield, and he had signed that. So it wasn't on card auto. It lasted about an hour and a half in my showcase. Oops. Oh well. Sorry, Lane. You would have liked that for Leighton, but it is what it is. What else do I have? We had backer Ethan. We talked about him already. From Red Trading Sports Co. When prepping for a card show, do you typically buy what you like or what you think customers want? Dude, I don't buy anything I like. Are you kidding me? Like,
I've started not buying anything I like either. It's kind of weird, but at the same time, like, it's better. You move your stuff faster. You get better margins. I don't know. I mean, just how it is now.
It's just like, and this is someone's opinion that has been formed about over a decade of being in the business perspective of sports trading cards and everything like that. I didn't collect as a kid, unfortunately. I don't have childhood memories of going to my local hobby shop and spending $4 and opening 20 packs of cards. Unfortunately, it just does not happen with me. I got into cards at 18 because I was playing Madden Ultimate Team and said, oh, digital trading cards are cool, but like I hate spending money on this and resetting every year. Let me go after the real thing. I have very little emotional attachment to trading cards. Game worn jerseys and stuff, absolutely love way more. Much cooler in my opinion. You can't get emotionally attached to any cards. You just can't.
I think that's why you're very good at what you do, is because like you're one of the only people I know. I'm sure there's tons, but like that didn't really like collect or do anything like that or open packs as a kid. So I feel like
it sucks.
Gives you an advantage.
I don't know if it gives me I don't know if it gives me an advantage or not. I don't really. I would have loved to have those memories. Like, when I eventually have kids, I'll buy them a $500 or I guess inflation $2,500 box of select blasters, and they can open those and maybe go after the new kabooms or whatever happens in 10 or 20 years. But I will make sure that my kids eventually do open packs as a kid. I just did not have that ability. Sure. Does it make me better at the business side of things? Sure. Am I happy about it?
Does.
What's that?
I honestly think it does.
I don't know. I mean, like, I get it, but like, yeah, I don't know if I would wish that on anyone. I've said that before. Like, there was an episode when you were not free where I did like, hey, I've sold $1 million in cards, and here's realistically how you can do it too. And I want to see if I can find my notes I wrote for that super duper quick. It was about a month or two ago. Let me see if I can find it super quick. No. This is trades. Do I have this still? I don't really want to pull up the episode, but I'm trying to find my old messages. Actual ways. Okay, I've had it. It was called Actual Ways to Scale Your Sports Card Business. I said I would not tell them to buy any specific player. I stand by that, except for Mason Rudolph. Please buy him so I can sell off all mine. Like Lane and I bought. Yeah, don't develop emotional attachments to your cards. Identify market opportunities based on current prices. Selling a step early, not a step too late. LOL, podcast name. Smaller trading cards equal larger margins. Building actual valuable human connections. Importance of reputation. Sports card etiquette. How to act. How to set up examples. Okay, yeah. So basically, I was just tracking my notes. I think what I remember saying about this was like, you just can't get attached. Like, these are assets. These are things that you have to be willing to sell and trade and whatever. And if it's in a showcase, frankly, there should be a price on it. You can be overpriced as much as you want to. Maybe you find the one person who's got to have it. I mean, if it's a PSA 10 silver prism of someone, it's 500% over comps. You're not going to sell it anyway. But like, I don't like those showcases that are like museums or like flexing how much cool shit you have. Like, I have friends who do that. Andy, you've done that in Chicago. I've made fun of you for it, but you have to be willing to sell your stuff if it's out in a showcase. Just showing it off to be cool is frankly a waste of space in a way, and don't get emotionally attached to any card you own because you should have a price on everything. It might be high as hell and you might be way off. You might have to own it forever, but you should probably not put it on the showcase then unless you're willing to have someone buy it from you.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely agree with like people that don't put prices on cards, even if it's like a stupid price, just make no sense to me. Like, you're literally just taking up a spot in the case. Like, come on.
I think people should price their cards in general at shows. Like, I am so much less likely to walk by your table and like stop unless you have your cards priced, and I will stand by that forever. I mean, like,
it's just annoying. I mean,
it's just obnoxious. Like, I don't really want to like flag you down, or like I don't want to see like your disgruntled wife sitting there like who doesn't want to deal with this shit. It's just like there because she loves you.
It's obvious too. Like, people don't price any of their cards. Like, it's probably less than a 25% chance you're gonna get a deal done with them because their prices probably aren't very good.
Yeah, I mean, I understand not pricing cards like every single show. Like, do you think next time I pull up my cards for like my local New Jersey show, I'm gonna price everything? Probably not. But like, I sat down before Dallas and priced every single card. It took about hour and a half from like team bagging them to actually pricing them to be a little bit over eBay. I think everything I had that I brought with me was priced at about 120% of eBay, just because I expect people to haggle with me. And that's about where I feel comfortable pricing stuff, because everyone's going to go to eBay or Card Ladder or TerraPeak or whatever other alts. And they're going to check stuff, and that's fine. I don't give a shit. I know what you're going to see. Unless an auction ends randomly of a card or you type it in a different way than I did, I priced it the same time as you. I know my prices are high. That's the point. If they were priced at eBay, you would still offer me 80% of comps. It doesn't fucking matter. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. I've gotten better at that.
Yep.
All right. Any other questions or anything? Let me check super quick. We actually got through everything. Kai, anything else you want to talk about or no?
I mean, not really. I you're gonna get the new NCAA football game when it comes out?
I am so excited for NCAA 24. There is a good chance that I take a day or two off work just to play it.
You got to restart the YouTube for it.
I don't want to restart the YouTube for it, but I definitely do. If I don't go to National this year, I think it's when does NCAA 24 come out? Like 2 weeks before National?
Yeah, I think it's like the middle of July or something like that.
If I don't go to National, it's not because I was upset or angry that I couldn't get showcase space. I'm just playing NCAA 24.
It's a good excuse.
Honestly, I've come up with worse. Hopefully, I'm able to get some showcase space. I will say this, though. I'm basically selling off my collection between now and my wedding. If I have any cards left, they'll be very small cards. I want to flip tiny cards. Like I bought
Wait, so what do you even need a spot at the National for?
Well, because if I end up coming back from my honeymoon and I have a spot, I will buy cards accordingly. But I bought an entire like 2-row of cards like today from a friend who dropped them off. And I'll flip those and auction them and whatever else. If I get National space, it'll be a showcase, maximum 2. I'll spend 40 grand when I get back from my wedding or my honeymoon on cards for the National. If I don't get one, I will walk the show and I will go with an empty briefcase and just cash, and I'll buy at trade nights or whatever else, or buy on the floor and then sell to dealers or go home with the cards or whatever else. And that'll be fun. But I'm basically hitting a very hard reset on my collection, on my inventory, let's call it. That's more correct. After a very successful Dallas, I checked my briefcase before because I have new stuff still on my desk. I've not even begun the process, and I probably won't until Thursday or Friday of this week. I have like 15 to 25 cards left that I had pre-Dallas. Like that's it.
How many would you say on average you bring to a show, or would you like to bring to a show? Like quantity number?
100 to 125?
Yeah, because what a showcase is what? 25, 30 cards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it is what it is. Like by end of Friday, I could have gone home happy from Dallas. I mean, Saturday is usually my worst day at that show, only because like by that point the repackers are gone. I've sold a bunch. I traded a bunch. I mean, new stuff moved. Like I did sell and trade some stuff, but like Thursday and Friday are A plus tier. Saturday is usually like a B minus B. That's just kind of how Dallas has turned into because of liquidity and such. There is a world where I come back from my honeymoon, from whatever else, and like I turn into the person who walks around a show with a Zion case and a notepad and a marker and a Sharpie and like right in the back of the car what I paid and like, you know, just paying cash and whatever else. And like it's fine. Like I can do that. I can do that better than most people. I don't really care. But do I really want to is a different conversation. If I'm forced to at National, I'll do it well. I mean, you know, do I have $100,000 I want to spend on sports cards? Not really. Like, okay. Like maybe if crypto keeps going up, I will. But pretty comfortable with my numbers that I am. And I'll plan accordingly based on what I have left, where I can get a space, if anything. And I'll figure it out when I get there.
What a plan. And if he doesn't get there, he's playing NCAA.
I'm perfectly okay with playing NCAA instead of going to the National.
What's your team going to be?
It's got to be Rutgers, dude. 100%.
You're going to have to really do some work there.
No. Rutgers is going to be fine. They're going to win like 5 games every year. Like maybe make a bowl game and it's going to be cool. Like the college I went to, Kai, does not have a football team. I don't think I can I? Actually, wait, you can create a team, right?
I believe you can, but I haven't played that game in so long. I don't know.
Well, NCAA 14 you can. If I can in 24, I'll create my college and that would be super funny. I will have to see what that looks like in like 2 months.
I can play you with FSU. We can see what happens.
I fucking hate you. You're a piece of shit. All right, guys. Thank you for watching and listening. Kai, anything else before we sign off for now?
No, I'm good. Look forward to next week. We'll see
All right,
what's
dude.
going on.
Thank you guys for watching and listening. Hopefully this episode stays up and I don't get DMs later about saying, hey, why did you say all those things? Take this down. So if you made it this far, I'm not in trouble. Bye.